Hey everybody, it's Linnea here for Miss Ink Stamps, and first of all I have to apologize for my scratchy voice. We have had such crazy weather swings. Last week we were in the 80s, and then yesterday we had a little bit of snow, not a lot, just enough to cover the grass, but now it's down into the 30s, and whenever there are big weather swings like this, I get a little bit of a cold until I kind of adjust to the change in seasons. So I just wanted to quickly apologize for my weirdo voice. Let's jump right into the card. I'm going to be making a Hippo Birdie birthday card. So I have the Hippo Hooray stamp set as well as the Streamer stamp set from Miss Ink Stamps. And later on I'm going to be pulling in the Diamond Fade 3 stencil. So here's a little peek at how I sometimes like to design a card. I'm taking those stamps from the Streamer stamp set and just laying them out from the top of the card coming down towards the center, and I plan to have that little hippo and the birdie down underneath them. I stamped all of the images that I need for my card onto some Nina white cardstock, and I'm going to color them in with Copic markers. So for the hippo here, I have C0, C2, C3, and C5 markers, and I'm just going to start by adding a C0 all over my hippo. This isn't something that I do often. Usually I just go right in with my darkest color, but because my colors are kind of farther apart than usual, I'm going to start with a base layer just to make sure that my paper is saturated. Then I'll come in with my darkest, which is my C5, and I'm going to add some shading. I'll blend that out with C3 and then eventually to C2. Now I am using the same markers for the whole body of the hippo, but I'm going to be keeping the pads of his feet and his little nose and mouth darker than the rest of his body. My coloring is really easy. It's something that pretty much anybody can do. Like I said, I usually just go in with my darkest color and then blend out with my lightest. It's super easy to do. So here's an example of that with this streamer. So I'll be using BG15 and BG13. So BG15 is my darker. I'm going to go in where I think there'll be shading with the BG15 and then just blend that out with the BG13 for an easy, really quick Copic coloring method. You can definitely add a whole bunch of shading and details to your coloring, but honestly that's not something I'm especially good at, so I tend to keep my coloring simple. Once the coloring is done, I will cut them out with my scissors and set them aside. Now I'm going to work on my background. So here I have the Diamond Fade 3 stencil, and this was kind of an afterthought for my design. I thought that I would have a lot of white space in my card, and it would just be the streamers with the little hippo and the birdie and a sentiment underneath. But as I was looking and kind of arranging my card, I thought that it looked plain. So I grabbed this Diamond Fade 3 stencil, and I'm going to use some Glitz Glitter Gel over the top. You could use any kind of paste that you have. I just happen to really love these ones. And this is the color Lovely Lavender. I'm using my stencil pal just to spread that over. And I did also spray the back of that Diamond Fade 3 stencil with pixie spray so that it wouldn't shift while I stenciled that on. Set that aside to dry for about 30 minutes, and now I'm ready to assemble my card. So I laid everything out once again, and I'm going to use just a little bit of masking tape to pick up all those streamers at once so that they hold their position. I spent a lot of time making sure they were arranged the way I wanted them to be, and I didn't want them to shift around. So then I can add some foam tape to my little hippo and my birdie images, and as well as my sentiment. And then I'm going to go ahead and add those streamers with liquid glue, and I'll put something heavy on top of them, set that aside to dry. Doesn't take long, maybe about a minute or 2 minutes. I just wanted to make sure that it was completely dry before I removed my tape. And here is my finished Hippo Birdie card. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will have the Miss Ink products that I used for this card linked below in the video description. Remember to subscribe to the Miss Ink Stamps channel. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!